to the NISA Game of the Week. It's Military Appreciation Night this Memorial Day weekend. Big crowd on hand in Chattanooga, Tennessee, as soccer takes center stage at Finley Stadium. We're ready for Chattanooga FC and the Maryland Bobcats. Hi, everybody. I'm Trey Bender alongside Devin Kerr for this one. Glad you're with us. Two teams that have had some time off gearing up for this matchup, and they're ready to go. Familiar foes in NISA.
Let's start with Chattanooga, Trey, and the fact that this team has high expectations. The league does as well, and the fact that they were the only team in the Legends Cup to win their opening two games. They cemented themselves in that final against Detroit City. Remember, this team already has a semifinal place, but with those expectations come unquality performances, we'll say. Peter Fuller expects more out of his squad. He expects it to start tonight. Maryland Bobcats, defensively, they've been great, but on the offensive side of the ball, they've struggled. They need some help. Chattanooga FC doesn't have that issue, right? But the problem that they're going to have is they're missing some key pieces tonight, Trey. D'Amico, their goalkeeper, is out hurt. James Kasak, whether it's a 3-back or a 4-back, his quality left foot, they're going to miss him with injury as well. And Brian Brement Nagelstad up top suspended 2 games for their 2-1 win and red cards over Michigan Stars. This is about a system under Peter Fuller and Chattanooga FC. Next man up, guys like Cutler Coleman, guys like Brett Jones to step into the spotlight and take advantage of the opportunity.
They're hoping to find some early season success finding the net. Meanwhile, Maryland, Jake Dengler, a new addition. He's been a big boost on the back line for the Bobcats.
For a team defensively that has been decent, you're going to see a lot of changes tonight. Spoiler, 4 overall, 3 on the back line. The 4th one is the goalkeeper. Joel Isiak is going to step in. How does Dengler handle that? With a guy that's got USL Championship experience, a quality player coming out of UConn as the transfer. He was a great leader in that opening 90 minutes against LA Force, but he's going to need balance as well. He can lead from the back, but can the offensive side of the ball help them once they move into the final third? That's going to be the key question for the Bobcats tonight.
Lineups coming up next from Finley Stadium. Chattanooga FC on home turf against the Maryland Bobcats. Coming up. The site of the NISA Legends Cup, Finley Stadium in Chattanooga. This is NISA spring regular season play. Chattanooga FC and the Maryland Bobcats squaring off as the teams take the field here. They've had some time off, 2 weeks for Maryland, 3 weeks for Chattanooga away from league play. As this Chattanooga club Their lineup brought to you by Southern Honda Power Sports.
In that time off, Trey, Peter Fuller was really adamant about the fact that he wanted to focus on shape and his ability to attack once they did get into the final third and go with pace and transition. You're going to get that with this lineup tonight. Cameron Woodfin to the outside back spot. Kyle Carr moves into the holding midfielder with Robertson and Hernandez, the attacking 10s in front. Brett Jones at the start of the front three and Cutler Coleman. That combination has to be lethal if they want to have success. Remember, 4 guys from the previous starting 11 not in the lineup tonight.
And a change at keeper. Alec Reddington, the St. Louis kid, is in the spotlight here.
A lot of people might look and go, okay, how difficult is this going to be? It should be seamless, to be honest. You know, the fact that D'Amico gets hurt, he actually took over for Reddington, who was fantastic in the fall tournament. Peter Fuller admitted, we have not really seen the best out of Reddington in the previous tournament, and he was fantastic. And he's going to face a lot of balls coming into the final third for the Maryland Bobcats and Sam Okpoto. Here's
that Bobcats lineup brought to you by Kaizo Health.
Here's why. It's all about shape when it comes to the Maryland Bobcats. Sammy Kasai, Brian Argueta in the midfield. You have the options moving forward here, Trey, where the back four we know in the goalkeeper, but moving forward, Yaya Fane will sit in the middle. He will be the holding midfielder. Everybody else has the ability to rotate. They need to do it. They need to be efficient, and they need to start to find a way to tickle the nylon because this team has provided a lot of opportunities, just not a lot of goals.
Beautiful evening for soccer. The color guard is out there. Memorial Day on the pitch, and our national anthem. Our national anthem, Finley Stadium ready for soccer. Chattanooga FC and the Maryland Bobcats. Kickoff comes up next. The Chattanooga FC fans starting to file in at Finley Stadium as they gear up for this matchup with the Maryland Bobcats. Chattanooga FC trying to develop a level of consistency. Let's take a look at the keys, brought to you by Crystal Air.
Touched on it a little bit already, Trey, and it doesn't matter if you're missing a goalkeeper, your goal scorer, 4 out of the previous 11. This is all about systematic success for Peter Puller. Likes to rotate players, likes to change the formation, but always the players understanding what their responsibilities are, and they find success no matter who's in the 11.
Maryland Bobcats, a very physical team. Their keys brought to you by Doghouse.
A lot of changes defensively tonight, but defensively have always been good. The question is, once they get into the final third, can they be more inventive? Can they be efficient? A lot of shots have gone up onto the board, but they haven't been able to put them in the back of the net. It's time for one singular player to step up, especially with the absence of K-Banjo.
Again, we'd mentioned these teams have had some time off to get back into league play, and injuries affecting both sides. As you mentioned, Banjo, the big number 10, not out there. Davey Mason, another guy on the left flank. We will not see him, nor Trey Cooper, Adam Yingling, two guys that played in their last match against the LA Force. But they feel if they can find a forward, force Chattanooga to draw people back, that could help out their cause. Chattanooga in the home blue really played with a lot of confidence at the NISA Legends Cup. We saw them score 4 goals against the LA Force, 3 against New Amsterdam to start the season.
Unfortunately for them, it really hasn't taken the same shape here as we moved into the spring season, Trey. And you know, with all the goals that have been flying around the league, of course, Detroit City reigns supreme in that aspect. Chattanooga sitting on the bottom portion of that table. They've only been able to put a few in the back of the net, and you know, Maryland Bobcats are hot on their heels as well. And for a team that people have so many expectations for this Chattanooga squad, they've really struggled, to be honest, to be inventive in the final third, to have a vision once they start to progress through. And the combination play's been nice, but the finished product just has not been there.
This is Yaya playing it back for Maryland. Does a nice job at not telegraphing what they do. Maryland led by Sam Akpodu, coaching experience at the highest levels. The Nigerian women's national team at the World Cup. The Virginia Tech women's team played for the Nigerian national team from 1979 to 1981. But it's a shorthanded squad here, and he's got some new faces out there that he hopes can step up, including Khalid Balogun, newly acquired, a forward.
And that 9 spot is going to be a key point. And it's not just the fact that they need to score goals, Trey. It's the fact that this team is searching. And they're not searching for an identity. They're searching for a way to have a little fun once they do get in to the attacking side of the ball. And, you know, last time out, they started to change that. K-Banjo played as a false 9, started to drop into the midfield. They pushed up high. James Pele was part of that. They pressed pretty well, but they overloaded the midfield and allowed guys like Brian Argueta and Yada Ifane to really dictate the tempo. They thought they did a really good job doing that. But again, as many opportunities that they've created, they still haven't been able to score any goals. So now Khalid Balogun steps in. That still means that other people around them need to have a little fun once they do get there. But can he be the one to step up and score some goals?
Sean Hofstadter, the throw in into the penalty area and wide of the net. An early opportunity here as Hofstadter with a good throw in.
This long
Here it
ball
is.
has always been extremely dangerous for Chattanooga. Little makeshift corner, and how about the ups in the box? It's really well done by Chattanooga FC to catch Maryland Bobcats sleeping a little bit as Alec McKinley literally rising to the occasion. Almost gets one on frame.
Chattanooga coming off a physical win back on May 8th. That's 3 weeks ago, beating the Michigan Stars 2-1. We will not see Nagelstad or Bement because of red cards in that game, but Jones really stepped up big, as did Nagelstad with a penalty kick goal in the 90th minute. But a very emotional game, and Peter Fuller really, I thought, addressed it the right way, taking the high road in terms of how they dealt with it after winning that match 2-1.
And plenty of times you can hear a manager step in and say, this guy got it wrong. you know, we should have been better here. That person should have made that decision. He didn't. Said, listen, responsibility's on me. We understand we made a mistake. We're going to atone for our sins and move forward. They're thinking positively coming out of that train. Yeah, they're going to lose a couple pieces, injury and suspension, but they're looking for other opportunities. You talked about Brett Jones, Cutler Coleman as well, Kyle Carr in the midfield, Cameron Woodfin stepping onto the back line if that's where they end up taking shape.
And here's an opportunity in the attacking third. Coleman can't keep it in play, but a mistake there on the Maryland side, and Chattanooga almost cashed in.
Just a great opportunity for them to continue to find ways to be successful, just like they were in the Legends Cup. And on the quick little press, still, it's a bad ball played out by Maryland for sure, but it's a great job by Chattanooga FC to being in the appropriate position to be able to take advantage of the opportunity and move forward quickly and decisively.
Here is Coleman, impact as a sub, getting the start in today's matchup. Woodfin got his foot on it. Maryland the other way with Yaya. McKinley. And they'll play it back, or they opt not to play it back. How about the new keeper for both squads here, Alec Reddington and Joel Isiak. Christian Cocker's a guy they've gone with Maryland. They've not really found the one guy. They've also used Daniel Olofinsua, but Chattanooga FC has gone with Phil D'Amico. You mentioned the injury, out 2 months with the foot. Reddington a chance to shine here in his first start.
And for a guy that's just 2 years removed from college, who only had a handful of appearances at the collegiate level, you know, UNC Charlotte, then transferred to St. Louis, an opportunity professionally just to continue on and to gain back some of that confidence as well, because he was injured coming into the Legends Cup. He was wearing the #1 and holding the shirt. And when you have a goalkeeper who steps in and plays well, that knocks you mentally. And if there's one player on the field, Trey, we've talked about it before, that you don't want to be lacking in confidence, it's a goalkeeper. So if I'm Maryland, I want to apply as much pressure as possible for the debut of Alec Reddington here in the spring season.
I'd like to make sure things are comfortable. I know that was a role of yours playing on the back line as a center back. Make sure that keeper's happy.
Yeah, you know, and a guy that, you know, the way that they play, you want something like this. You want him to get touches on the ball. Alec McKinley, Nick Spielman, you got to be very vocal, because the goalkeeper has the best vision of the entire field, but doesn't necessarily step up to speak about it a lot when you haven't had the opportunity to regularly step onto the pitch into competition situations. So for Alec Reddington, the vocal side of it has to be extremely active. And that's on McKinley and Spielman on the back line to keep that chatter open.
There's a foul here. Our referee, Carlos Pelago. Reddington from Kirkwood, Missouri, suburb of St. Louis. Javon Dawkins playing that one out. Completely different look on the back line for Maryland. And they've counted a lot on Davey Mason on that left flank. He's a hamstring. Don't have him. Here's Argueta. Alex Cal to Yaya. Back to Dingler. Dingler really showed himself well in that match against the LA Force, though. Loyola Maryland product.
Yeah, he was brilliant. Great leader, very vocal. Some of the vocalness I just talked about for Chattanooga. Dingler definitely possessing that skills. CCBC Essex product that transferred to UConn. Did very well for himself in his singular season, 2 goals and 2 assists, but it was more so his vision. Great distribution coming off the back line. Actually had a little makeshift bicycle. Almost got them back on the scoreboard. And watch him, he can jump left to right as well. So for Isiak, you know, the combination was with Nero Cooper, Trey Cooper last time out. to go from left to right. He's very comfortable on either foot, and you don't get that a lot of center back. So if he has to pinch over a little bit, his vision is one thing, but the ability to go from left foot to right foot, feel the pressure, and still be able to play out of it, that's another.
Let's hope this isn't serious. Brett Jones is down here. Signed a new contract this week. A guy that's getting better every day, according to Peter Fuller.
Just plants right on top, coming back across. Foot just pinches out from underneath him a little bit, catches on the turf and rolls that ankle just a tiny touch. You got to feel for him if you're Brett Jones. You're coming back through. And this is one of the guys we talked about who you can see the pain that he's in right now. No Nagelstad. No Brian Bement. Could he be the one to step up into this system? And you know, early on, it looks like Peter Fuller is going to have to make a change as Brett Jones is headed off.
Well, that's the last thing they wanted to see. They're also without James Kasak. He's out with an injury. So a guy that's really been coming on. Had a goal against New Amsterdam, against Michigan.
You wonder if he's going to go after someone like Chris Marshall or Felipe Oliveira. Was pretty high on all three of them, to be honest. Cameron Woodfin's name came up a couple times as well, and I think it is interesting how, and I said to you coming in, Trey, the last couple of times we've had the opportunity to pick the brain of Peter Fuller, he's kind of steered us in the direction of here's what I'm thinking in terms of setup. And that hasn't rung true in previous appearances. It's the same thing tonight. He gave us a real clear-cut idea of what this was going to look like from back to front. Totally different than our conversation. So last-minute adjustments for the manager. He's going to have to do the same thing now. This one's going to be on the fly, though, to find a way to have a presence up top.
Yeah, and Ian McGrath looks like he's going to be the guy, and this is a goal scorer. He had a couple of them against New Amsterdam. Practiced Wednesday for the first time since suffering a concussion. So, boy, they've had a lot of injuries they've had to deal with, you know, nicks and things like that, but serious injuries as well, and he's going to be forced into play here. A proven commodity, at least for them.
And with Brett Jones off, you would imagine this is going to be a push-up high of Sean Hofstadter. That would be the guess. But again, just like what you see out of Detroit City, and I'm not comparing the systems, I'm comparing the fact that both managers like to move a lot of pieces around. Chattanooga have done the same to start the game, and now they're going to have to make another change in order to find a presence up top.
Yeah, tries to play it to Kasai there. Missed the mark. Restart here as McGrath checks in. The next opportunity, a unique talent with his skill and his size. It's intercepted by McKinley. Well, they've had time to game plan, as mentioned, their last NISA game 3 weeks ago. But when you have injuries on top of the two guys you don't have in Bement and Nagelstad, this makes life very difficult for Coach Fuller. And here comes McGrath. Jocelyn Posillon. This is James Pele. Balogun. Bad pass there. Breakaway the other way. Out in front, in the box. And Dengler clears it out of there. A poor pass. And now on the counter, it's Balogun and Maryland. Balogun, top of the box, Kasai. Here's James Pele with a shot, hooks it wide. like the left ankle for Brett Jones.
You got to be oh so careful in these situations, Trey, because sometimes, having experienced it firsthand, those little tweaks turn into sprains. They actually are worse than having a broken foot. I actually, about 3.5 weeks prior to going on trial with Chivas USA back in the late 2000s, it was like 2007, was actually training and turned my right ankle really bad, and it ended up bothering me for the better portion of about 9 weeks, as opposed to sometimes a clean break. Throw a cast on, you're out of it in 3 weeks or a month, back in training and back on the field in 6 weeks time. And it really hindered my ability to change direction, and that's something you want to keep an eye on, because of the fact that, you know, he just turned it. It wasn't a big step, and immediately you just kind of saw the excruciating pain that he went into. They'll work on him, see if they can find a way to ice it, and, you know, is that going to be another loss? As we mentioned, 4 of their previous starting 11 already out, 2 for injury, 2 for suspension. Now to lose another one, they quickly turn into the walking wounded.
Corner kick opportunity here. Robertson, and that was not fielded cleanly by Isiak, but it bounces off of Chattanooga. Goal kick coming. Spielman in the middle of things. And you touched on the fact that Chattanooga FC has an automatic berth in the regular season semifinal. They will find out who they play. So, but this is an opportunity they feel these next couple matches to get some points, improve their standing in this spring season. The side of Balogun, Khalid, triple teamed. Here's Argueta. Argueta, the cross through the box there, kept in momentarily. Robertson punches it out. Alex Cow did not play against the LA Force. Yaya's been a staple for this team in the midfield. Almost 18 minutes gone here in the first half. We apologize for the electrical malfunction. Scoreless here between Chattanooga FC and Maryland. In the box, an opportunity, and that's wide of the mark, and Yaya goes down.
A follow through here by Yaya. Good build-up by Maryland Bobcats. Love the late trailing run, allowing this play to develop. Good vision, just picking it up, and as he bursts in right through the top of the 18, his follow-through is what he's able to clip on this challenge coming back across. This has really been the tail of the tape, Trey, for Maryland Bobcats coming in. I talked about the fact that only 1 goal to their name. The only other team that has less is New Amsterdam, but it's not for lack of trying. They get a lot of shots off, just aren't necessarily able to hit the target. And that's a pretty good representation of it. Good build up, get into the final third, hit the top of the 18, just can't hit the target.
Well, you don't have your captain, Kay Banjo, who is your goal scorer. When you look at the NISA Legends Cup and then the regular season, he has 2 of the goals against 1904 FC in Stumptown. Dengler trying to get back. And that's up over the bar. Juan Hernandez, their captain.
Not a little bad idea coming back up over the top. There's always good distribution coming from Sean Russell, Alec McKinley, and Nick Spielman, of course, this time around.
Corner, cleared out. Almost 20 minutes gone here, first half. No score. Chattanooga FC and the Maryland Bobcats. Both teams had a significant time off from NISA League play. 2 weeks off for Maryland. As you see our scoreboard clock. 3 weeks off from Chattanooga FC. But this is an important date for both teams. Chattanooga FC coming off an emotional win over the Michigan Stars. And you touched on Maryland just trying to get something generated offensively. And you sense they get a goal that just might get the ball rolling in the right direction.
Spot on. And you know, that belief that they can do great things here isn't just within this organization, Trey. You know, most of the teams and coaches that are leading them around the league get an opportunity to pick their brain. They feel the same. They're actually very surprised that this team not only haven't been able to score any goals, haven't been able to pick up any results. They're a battle-tested squad. You know, it was rough and tumble during the Legends Cup. A lot of fouls, a lot of aggressive physical play. But they've had some good build-up now. Mentioned the defensive escapades and the fact that they've been able to lock down a lot of teams. The problem is you can only take so much pressure. You know, you defend for 90 minutes, eventually you're going to crack. And that's what's happened. They need help on the offensive side of the ball.
Coleman and Hernandez, Argueta providing the defense there. And Peter Fuller mentioned he respects the physical nature of the play from Maryland. That they play hard. They have had some frustrating moments, obviously. But their style very unique.
All you need to make sure of, Trey, is that style, the physical play, the emotion, they don't let it overtake you. Because it's one thing to try and make your presence felt literally within a match. But that type of emotion can also override your judgment. It can override your performances. And that's what is exactly how it played out within the Legends Cup. That hasn't taken shape here in the spring season. They've been much better at being decisive. They just need to find a way to make sure that they don't let it overtake their overall performances, the frustrations, right? The buildups, some of the lackluster decision-making hasn't exactly followed through here. Again, it all comes down to goals. It's literally all they're missing.
Chattanooga coming up empty after that Robertson corner. Here's James Pele now in the box. Pele makes his move. Pele with the left foot cross through the box. Cal. That's deflected. Russell was there. And both players go down. A big collision in the penalty area.
Shocked that James Pele doesn't hit this first time. One-on-one situation. Little cutback across the defender's body. You catch his hips and he won't be square. Very difficult for a defender to change direction. Instead, brings it to the weak foot and then back across, and it gets stuck behind the striker of Khalid Balogun. And then watch the head-to-head. You got to be real careful here. Both these guys going toe-to-toe with inside the top of the 18. That's going to leave a mark. Trainers immediately.
Kyle Carr contested that. "23 minutes plus gone here in the first half. Carr back from a torn Achilles injury. That was quite a collision.
He was one of the guys that was part of the Lansing Ignite team that turned a lot of the heads in USL League One back in 2019 under the direction of Nate Miller, now the assistant coach under Landon Donovan and San Diego Loyal within the championship. They say that Sean Hofstadter's the Swiss Army knife. Kyle Carr's not that far behind. Outside back, holding midfielder, push him into an 8. He's willing to fulfill any role that Peter Fuller puts in front of him. Nice to see him up and moving.
So Brett Jones injured. He's off the pitch. Now Kyle Carr off the pitch.
Good thumbs up there, though. You know, they just run him through the concussion protocol. Trainer comes on, so he's got to come off. But there was just a thumbs up a second ago saying, boys, gone, not forgotten. I'll be right back at it.
Richard Dixon is on the lineup card. He's been dealing with injury this season, a veteran leader. They have that option. Great leader, communicator, veteran presence. We just started the 26th minute here, no score. Chattanooga FC and Maryland from Finley Stadium. There's a Swiss Army knife you mentioned, Sean Hofstadter.
The guy doesn't stop running, man. He's very impressive. I like him best in the 10 or the 9, but struggled with a lot of injuries. Talking to Peter Fuller and finally being able to get him healthy always brings a quality idea set to this Chattanooga FC squad. And not just his ability to shapeshift, Trey, but the fact that given injury to Brett Jones and the way that they've tweaked it, you know, said they had an idea that they were going to start with 4. They actually started with 3 at the back. They've now changed it to 4. Started him a bit more restricted on the right and in the middle. Now he's pumped up higher. He and Cameron Woodfin trying to hold the width of this attack moving forward. Hernandez and Ian McGrath, as mentioned, the substitution to Brett Jones. McGrath tucks in just underneath.
And good news, Kyle Carr will come back in, number 5, getting ready. Here's James Pele now trying to make another move. Top of the box. Pele on the run. And James Pele denied there. Good idea from Maryland in the attacking third. He's really good at generating the attack. Has a goal already against Cal United. And Kyle Carr back on the pitch. Alex Cow with the corner. Top of the box. Dangler got a head on it. Cow loops it in. Far post, and Reddington with a nice play. Well, so far so good for number 1 back there, the keeper.
Well, the Chattanooga faithful literally singing the praises of the goalkeeper, who was so impressive at the whole tournament at the end of 2020. Remember, that was their starter, the trustee of sorts. And nice the fact that just inside 30 minutes hasn't really been called to arms just yet, but doing a good job testing on that back post.
Balogun, a fancy move. That one goes through the box. James Pele battling with McKinley, and possession for Maryland. Dangler. Right sideline. This is Dawkins, and that sails away. Baltimore kid, a lot of Baltimore influence in this Maryland Bobcats FC squad.
Well, they take pride in the fact that they keep it local. They love the ability to get their hands on some of this youth talent, bring it up. Guys like Bryce Orsini, been around for quite some time. That's not an easy thing to do considering the region that you're based in. Easy to look at what's going on within NISA, but you think big picture, a lot of clubs in the area.
Oh, Isiak top of the box there. And there's a shot from Hofstadter deflected.
Got me a little nervous. That's why I stopped. It's Joel Isiak coming well off the line. They figured Dengler or Marion Musi would have just stepped in. Now remember the fact that I talked big picture just a second ago. That's coming off my own comments, Trey, and the fact that they have to compete. But this is a squad that the Maryland Bobcats, they want to be a feeder system to the likes of DC United, the Revolution, and the Philadelphia Union. They understand that they're not necessarily ready in their eyes to jump up to another level, but they feel like their players, specifically the youth guys, have a chance to. You know, they can move into those squads, and if they're missed within those academies for whatever reason, they pump them into their own system, give them more repetition, give them an opportunity to step up and get some experience underneath their belts, and then push them in. You know, they can be a selling club and still provide themselves a lot of talent to be successful.
Some new faces today. Balogun at the forward spot. Taylor Gray, a guy we could be seeing, just added another forward. He wears number 47. Argueta from Gaithersburg, Maryland. James Pele, he's been active here in the first half. Dengler plays it for Kasai. 31 minutes gone here, first half. Hernandez challenged by Posian. Woodfin, Dengler's back there. Good matchup right there. And a goal kick. Here's Coleman. Looked like they had something brewing there and nothing developed. Pass off the mark there from James Pele. When we saw Chattanooga FC at the beginning of the NISA Legends Cup, Devin, they looked like a completely different team. Dominant in 4-1 and 3-0 wins over the LA Force in New Amsterdam. They've been, you touched on it, they've been in a lull here, trying to, maybe the win over Michigan will give them the jump start they needed.
You would hope so. They got lucky, though, to be fair. And I'll be the first one to say it. I think Peter Fuller would agree as well. We didn't ask him that question specifically, and I didn't for a reason. I was hoping maybe it would just come out on his own. But he did talk about the overall performances from his squad and where things have lacked. Trey, when you have an idea and you want to execute, you look to just, sort of, what is it, the wash, rinse, repeat type thing, where you get guys into a groove and you find a way to be successful. Peter Fuller's a visionary. He has 50,000 ideas. And sometimes that can get you into trouble because you can do too much. And that has happened in some of their games. You know, they've tried to do too many different things that has gotten them away from what they were successful at in previous matches. You know, the 4-1 win over LA Force and the 3-0 over New Amsterdam. I'm not taking anything away from those victories, but the 4-1 is the first game of the tournament. The 3-0 for New Amsterdam, it's the first time that team stepped onto a field. Then you go up against Detroit City, who just waxed poetic and ran them into the ground. So now you're trying to find a way to be more successful. You lose on the road to Cal United. Cal United was the better team. You get a comeback victory against the Michigan Stars, which shows character. but it's a late game dramatic penalty that allows you to get that win. The club friendlies, he feel like, okay, maybe we were a little bit better there, but we still need to take the steps. If you want to be a team that's continuously in the talking points of one of the best within NISA, you're at home against Maryland, a team that struggled on their own, you got to get a result. No excuses whatsoever.
And to be fair, when you consider the fact they're already in the semifinal, that's not easy to, it's human nature is, hey, we're already there. But there are games to be played. And you'd like to hit the ground running, develop a little confidence. The last regular season game will be against Detroit City FC before they move to the semifinals, which is kind of an odd way to finish off your regular season. Knowing if you do win the semifinal, you'll get Detroit in the championship. Here's a free kick opportunity.
Yeah, just to play off your point a little bit there, Trey. The other side of that is having the luxury of already secured yourself that spot. Does it really matter how you're playing right now? I'll answer it. No, it doesn't. There are plenty of teams in any league around the world, leagues, I should say, around the world, that could start off as world beaters and play fantastic at the opening part of the season. It doesn't matter. If you play well down the stretch and get a medal and a trophy, that's all that matters, trust me. And Peter Fuller will take the struggles right now with the opportunity to build towards a better product at the tail end of this thing so that they can go win the semifinal and they can put a trophy in the final after a victory there up on the mantle.
Big picture. Sammy Kasai getting a yellow card there. The Robertson free kick opportunity. It's into the box and Posey-on, but the keeper comes out and Reddington makes the play. And we understand it was not Sammy Kasai, but Yaya that picked up the yellow on that previous free kick for Robertson. So Yaya getting the yellow card. Here's Coleman. Bends it in there. Dengler heads it out, top of the box. McGrath takes a swipe at it, not much on it. And a Bobcat is down here. That's Posey-on. The activity, at least in the offensive end, appears to be pretty good for Maryland based on what they did in their last game against the LA Force versus today.
Jocelyn Posey-on coming right back through. Ian McGrath going to air, trying to get a touch on it, and just the leg right there. There it is. Yeah, very similar, to be honest, of what went on Brett Jones just inside the 25-minute mark. His ankle just turns, and the good news, though, for Sam Okpotu is the fact that he's up and walking, and he's got a little pep in the step. Very different than what we saw to Brett Jones, who obviously limped up and had to be changed. That was the sub Ian McGrath coming in, and some of that effect funneling over here to Posey-on, who's been very active in the midfield.
Washington, D.C. product. 38 minutes gone here from Finley Stadium, site of the NISA Legends Cup, won by Detroit City. Chattanooga FC trying to find their mojo here, but they're dealing with injuries and minus a couple starters because of red cards. Brian Bement and Marcus Nagelstad now without Brett Jones. Injured in this one in the first half. Kyle Carr back on the field after suffering an injury. Robertson for McKinley. Nice move. McKinley top of the box. James Pele Argueta. Russell, a good job defensively in front of Balogun.
That was a really good ball, though, by Chattanooga FC and Tate Robertson to find that streaking run on the right-hand side. Even better tackle, though, by Argueta, who probably hasn't received enough praise for his performance so far, Trey, and the fact that he's able to move to the left back position and be effective. You know, they haven't gotten involved going forward, but he has been able to defensively lock down this left-hand side. It is an interesting one, though. I'm surprised in terms of the shape, and Sam Akpodu told us we'd be seeing something very different. I'm surprised with the shape that that's the move they're going to make, where you take a guy like Posian and move him into the midfield, not necessarily an out-and-out center back, but a holding midfielder by trade and a center back as well, and you push him in, but you take and attack Brian Argueta, the guy who scored the first goal in club history, and move him as a marking back behind the likes of James Pele. You know defensively he's going to have to cover a lot of space, and that's exactly what's gone on in the first half here. They have lacked the presence, though, within that 10 spot, because Sammy Kasai has been very quiet.
Argueta scored in the 61st minute against the Michigan Stars. Good set piece guy. As we approach 41 minutes gone here in the first half. Robertson with a good play. Robertson with the ball. Isiaka's there. Good crowd on hand here at Finley Stadium. The Chattanooga. We saw them make noise at the NISA Legends Cup. It's deflected. Woodfin trying to run it down. Banging the drums.
Trey, I think I've asked you this before. I just don't remember the answer, so I do apologize for repeating myself. Do you play an instrument?
No, I knew you were going to ask me that again.
Forgot.
No.
Oh, that's
the
right.
microphone.
Yeah. That's right. The microphone. You know, you can't understate the value of being quality on the microphone. It's a good instrument, you know. Great to have in the back pocket. You know, it's transportable. Golf course. Broadcast.
That right there is out of my element, though. They do a nice job. Great fans here.
I could see you in a headband standing over a set of drums, though, or playing the cymbal, better yet.
I like the headband. Here's Coleman. Argueta. Nifty footwork. Makes his move into the box. Argueta making something happen here. It will be a goal kick, though.
Good step by Nick Spielman. He catches a deflection off the run coming forward by Brian Argueta. Just talked about the fact that we hadn't seen him in a more advanced role, playing at that left back spot behind James Pele, with Posian and Alex Cow pretty much holding down fort within the midfield. The outside backs have had to do a lot of chasing, and they've been good in one-on-one situations. The long balls over the top you want to keep an eye on, because James Pele is pinching inside just a little bit. So what you end up getting is Alex McKinley, who's moved to the right back spot, coming into the four, pushing higher, and he pushes Cutler Coleman even up top. So it goes into this like 4-2-2-2. They cheat a little bit on the right-hand side. There's a lot of space on the left they haven't gone after. They're letting Juan Hernandez and Ian McGrath float. Sean Hofstetter pretty much remaining constant as that focal point up top with the departure of Brett Jones. But again, circumventing all the way back around, Argueta and Javon Dawkins have definitely put a lot of miles on the odometer here in the opening 45 minutes.
Spielman plays it forward into the box. Knocked around. Woodfin. James Pele, so active, very quick, number 99. Hernandez plays it back. Woodfin against Yaya. Woodfin's delivery. Approaching the 45th minute. 4 minutes of stoppage time, first half coming up. Robertson, and the flag goes up.
Well, the fans making friends with our referee, not agreeing with the decision. Oh yeah, he's off. Yeah, there's daylight. You can pitch a tent right here with the amount of space that's available. Little camp out. Little flick on after the ball from Tate Robertson comes through. Just ushered through by Hernandez as trying to find a way to Ian McGrath on that link up.
The big throw in from Hofstadter into the box. Cleared out by Argueta, who has been busy on the defensive end. Robertson settles and plays that one wide. The quarterback of the team, kind of the straw that stirs the drink. Number 7. The home team trying to steal one here in the final minutes, first half. Carr. Hernandez back to the goal. Double team. Dingler Dawkins coming over to help out. Goal kick. Captain drawing some attention there. And offsides. Coleman with a touch top of the box.
He doesn't agree here, but it's the concentration factor that you've got to be oh so careful of. Great idea. Almost executed by Chattanooga FC. It's the last little flick on that comes up over the top that doesn't allow them to continue this movement going forward. And those little moments, Trey, where you switch off, you have to be so aware of your surroundings, because the way that games like this are going, they're not getting a lot of quality looks in front of goal, right? So when those moments do present themselves, just be extra courteous to the guys in your buildup. Understand that, hey, this may not come around again. Quick little look over the shoulder, pinch both sides as an attacker. The ability to build going forward for Chattanooga FC has gotten much better as first half has gone on. Tate Robertson dancing on the ball. I mentioned them pinching on the right side a little bit. Time to get the balance on the left. Maryland Bobcats, James Pele, he's done a great job. But with all the changes that they've made, 3 on the back line, 1 in goal. Brian Argueta out of the attacking option. He goes to left mid. They're missing the presence as an attacking option in the number 10 role. They've got to change that here in the second half if they want to get Khalid Balogun going in that number 9 spot and find success in the final third.
So 1 half in the book, scoreless. Chattanooga FC and the Maryland Bobcats. The NISA game of the week. Halftime comes up next.
Kids, grandparents, and head over to Kids Corner for the inflatable soccer field coloring activities and sign up for Kids Club membership. Tonight's hero of the match, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, is Carmaya Trejo. Carmaya, a student at Signal Centers, presented Signal Centers Cheddar Camp with a $150 donation for money she raised through her lemonade stand. Signal Center's summer camps are inclusive, and Cheddar Camp is the one camp in Chattanooga that's accessible to children and teens with disabilities. Cheddar Camp is for children who are nonverbal or have limited verbal skills. Carmaya was born with cerebral palsy. Her bright and sunny nature brought a spark to Cheddar Camp. Carmaya is special to Signal Centers, and we're all blown away by her generosity. Signal Centers Summer Camp are for children of all abilities. Disability is never the barrier. The barriers that exist are created by society.
NISA game of the week at halftime. Chattanooga FC and the Maryland Bobcats are scoreless. When you talk about this matchup, we knew both teams struggling in terms of not having their entire personnel and really not having Brett Jones hurt this Chattanooga team in terms of generating something on the offensive end.
Yeah, they definitely struggled for sure. A lot of changes for both sides. Tactically, they're chasing a little bit, but they're just trying to find some fluidity within their play, Trey. They're trying to find a way to be successful, and unfortunately, that hasn't taken shape in the opening 45 minutes. I do expect changes to be made, though, because Peter Fuller's too good tactically to let this game get away from him. They progressed really well towards the latter portion of the opening 45 minutes.
Well, Chattanooga knows they'll be in the semifinal of this spring season, but when the season concludes after the July 3rd championship, the NISA Independent Cup will start beginning in July. And how about this, Devin? 9 regions, 36 clubs, and the big stat here, the largest club competition in the U.S. this year.
And you really have to pay credit to the league here, Trey, and the fact that a lot of people talked about this. Was this league able to be sustained? They were almost in survivability mode, right? They needed to find a way to push through and give these teams an opportunity to play. Not only have they done that, they've pushed through that barrier. 9 regions, 36 clubs, 54 matches with some really big-name teams. Notably, I want your eyes to focus down at the bottom of there and Newtown Pride. And the fact that people are going to look and go, who is that? Yeah, that's the reigning National Amateur Cup champion. So the summer, the fall, all combining everything. It's a great opportunity for the NISA teams that we're seeing right now play themselves out, but a lot of the amateur clubs to step in as well, who from an amateur standpoint, high quality, Trey. A lot of different formations, a lot of different tactics, guys that were successful at the college level, an opportunity to dip their toes at the professional level, play around with the big boys, and also it's an audition for those guys. A great chance to check in, and maybe some of these NISA squads turn their head and go, hey, like this guy, why don't you come play for us? Come be successful on this side of the pitch, and let's have a little fun.
And a great way to link the spring and fall seasons in NISA. Chattanooga and Maryland scoreless at halftime. More coming from Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's halftime at Finley Stadium, the NISA game of the week. Chattanooga FC and the Maryland Bobcats are scoreless. As an anti-racist organization and a movement towards creating more equitable opportunities and visible change, NISA clubs came together to show unity and purpose. They held an open discussion of current league EDI initiatives with Equity Committee leadership and paid tribute to Martin Luther King Jr.'s words in pursuit of that dream.
A dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is a faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, my country, tears of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. Not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and when this happens, when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
The start of the second half is next.
Proud partner of Chattanooga FC, Lucidity Float and Wellness Center, and escape from the chaos of everyday life. Fans, for your safety and the safety of our community, we kindly ask that you practice safe social distancing, keeping 6 feet away between your group and other fans while attending tonight's match. Face coverings are required for all patrons while in Infinity Stadium. We thank you for your cooperation.
Hey guys, you want to take it for a spin?
Hubble is the official soccer ball for NISA and the official equipment supplier for CMC. Don't miss out on Goat Yoga. CFC Goat Yoga, presented by River City Company with support from the Benwood Foundation, will take place on June 3rd at Waterhouse Pavilion at Miller Plaza. 3 sessions will be offered at 4, 5:30, and 7 p.m. Each registration comes with a CFC ticket to the active and healthy match on June 5th. Spots are filling up quickly, so register at cfctix.com now.
Mike's not over. Check, 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 check. There we go.
Nothing on the board so far. The NISA game of the week between Chattanooga FC and Maryland Bobcats, scoreless at halftime. This is the NISA spring season, and Detroit City FC has been the most impressive team thus far, Devin Kerr. But it's a real battle right now for second place as you look at the standings.
We were talking about it coming into the match. Nobody really wants to step up and take the reins, right? And to recap where we're sitting right now, Trey, understand the fact that Detroit City FC, with their previous performance, has already assured themselves a spot in that critical final game. And as mentioned also, Chattanooga FC already in the semifinals. So everybody else chasing, you legitimately can finish third if those teams finish in the top 2. But no one's really been able to do that. Now, the balance of games is a little bit off. Some teams have played 2, some teams played 3, some teams played 4. Detroit City out there with 5, of course, and they're leading the way. Injuries. LA Force, Chandler Hoffman, that's been an issue. Cal United and the youngsters, can they step up? Stumptown, I actually think their overall product is pretty good. Michigan Stars, you know, they can't get out of their own way in a lot of things, both on and off the field. And then Chattanooga, a team that started off as the darlings of the Legends Cup, and now they can't find quality form. Still plenty of time here, 8 overall matches to get into one of those coveted spots, though.
1904 FC has a 1-0 lead on the Michigan Stars in the first half of their game tonight. As we look at the NISA Game of the Week schedule coming up, and there's a look at the Stars and the LA Force, a team that is on the rise in the next matchup at 7 Eastern time. That's something to look forward to.
Remember that LA Force also hosting Cal United in about 20 minutes time. 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And let's see if any of these jump out for me. Everybody's going to look towards that June 26th match, but something mentioned as well, since those teams have already locked up their spot, is it really going to be that pivotal? Going to be an interesting product for sure, but do you want to rest your guys at that point in time? I'm actually shifting towards that Michigan-LA Force game because I think those two teams could easily end up being in that final spot into the semifinal against Chattanooga FC.
How about this? A change at the keeper position. Christian Cocker will take over for Joel Isiak. Interesting move from the Maryland Bobcats.
And we did see Isiak pick up a little bit of a knock in the first half. Nothing that was truly warranted for a change, but obviously something going on behind the scenes that hasn't made its way to us yet, Trey. That's the only thing that you can think about, because to be fair, though he doesn't necessarily test it a lot, referencing Joel Isiak, he did make a couple of saves and stepped up when needed.
And we're also going to see the newly acquired Taylor Gray. He'll come in for Sammy Kasai. So a fresh face along with Khalid Balogun, who played in that first half. Here's Balogun. Looking for some kind of a combination, anything to get things to improve on the offensive end, the Maryland Bobcats.
I would have to imagine with that change that they'll bring James Balogun stay in the 9 up top, or if they're going to move Taylor Gray to the outside. Speed for both of those guys is something that comes to mind when you think about them. But I did say coming into halftime, Trey, they needed more of a presence in the number 10 attacking type role. And that is why they're going to bring Sammy Kasai off. He just wasn't good enough.
Again, no K Banjo, out with a hamstring injury. No Davey Mason, also a hamstring, who's been effective on the left flank for this team, as Dengler has a free kick opportunity. Over the head of Balogun there. This is Pato, who starts the second half. Hernandez, challenged by Cal. There's a look at Gray. Lanky, very quick, as you mentioned. Good move in the box there, and a corner kick opportunity. Cal's going to do the honors. James Pele, again, making his presence felt. He did that in the first half. Cal from Togo, a Yukon Husky, plays it short to James Pele. This will be a free kick opportunity as Reddington gets them situated. His first start for Phil D'Amico, who's out with a broken foot, out 2 months. Pele, quick move. Such a quick first step from 99.
It is, but it's a great tackle by Nick Spielman. He knows exactly what the scouting report was on James Pele. And he saw that move in the first half as well. Remember, had that one-on-one cut to the exact same location.
And that shot on frame, but right at Reddington.
Same exact thing, Trey. I mean, literally the same move that you saw out of James Paley in the first half. It's really well done by Nick Spielman on the back line. Much better with his hips, too. Got really flat in that first move, which allowed him to get beat. Now, the second ball coming back across didn't take shape. This time around, keeps them closed, and he makes the attacker force himself into a decision that has to go to the end line. Quick reaction time by the center back, gets stuck in. Great tackle.
Woodfin in the corner, can't do much with it. Hernandez, the captain, top of the box. Hofstadter flicks it, but it's Gray the other way. Your mindset, first game with a team on the pitch, if you're Taylor Gray, you obviously, the adrenaline rush, you don't want to make any mistakes, but you can't not play your game, right? You got to go with what the girl you brought to the prom, so to speak.
It's a great analogy, Trey. I respect that. The good news is
oh, that was a dangerous play there, and a corner kick coming.
No good news there. The good news is he's in a win-win because the team's already struggling on the offensive side of the ball. You know, we've talked about it time and time again, not just in this match, but previous games as well. And the fact that nobody's been able to show up means that he can put up, right? He can take chances. He can find a way to be a little bit different. And if he doesn't succeed, it's going to sound a little bit cliche, but there's nothing lost, right? The fact that nobody else has been able to step up means that he can take advantage of that opportunity as well. So don't be afraid to be inventive. Try some new things. Take chances. Because if anything, you're only going to go up. They can't go backwards.
Kyle Carr with a corner. Cocker got a hand on it. Back to the goal at Spielman in traffic, and it's cleared out. There's Dengler getting back in front of Woodfin. It's been a good matchup. We've kept an eye on here. Dawkins. And a foul on Woodfin.
Well, Trey, I'm not exactly sure what you have to do in order to pull the trigger on this one because you've got an opportunity. Alec McKinley, Nick Spielman. I want it, you take it. No, the green ball, the red ball, the blue ball. Just push the red button. Let's get a stuffed animal and get out of here. Instead, time runs out.
You're saying in that case, just fire one into the fray and you might get some kind of a deflection, something good happening, right?
Yeah, you're spot on. In those situations, look, it's such a small window you have to work with anyway. There's no reason to overthink this. You don't need to be clinical in execution. Just put one on the 8x8. You know, hit it with power, keep your head down, push it through. I mean, especially with the shaky start that we've already seen out of substitute Christian Cocker coming on. You know, twice off his line, once using his head. The second time just before this chance comes through. You know, he needs to punch it instead of getting a fingertip on it. If I'm an attacker right now for Chattanooga, I'm going after it. You know, all I want to do is just put one on frame and challenge the goalkeeper. Grab a deflection, anything.
Again, they don't have Brett Jones, who was injured in the first half. One of their goal scorers. Don't have Brian Bement and Marcus Nagelstad out with red cards after the Michigan match. And another guy that can be effective on the left wing, James Kasak, out with injury. But still plenty of capable, viable options on the attack. That's played forward. Here's one of them, Hofstadter. Good play by Dengler. Well, how important is Dangler for this back line? He really has just picked up and rolled with this team from the get-go.
He's been very impressive, and his ability to manage all of these pieces, Trey. It's a very difficult thing to do in general, yet alone the fact that if you're just joining us, Maryland Bobcats making 4 changes on that back line. Outside left back, left center back, right back, and then the goalkeeper, which they actually started not with Christian Calker, they started with Joel Isiak. So to manage it in general is difficult, yet alone the fact that you changed everyone else on the back line and your goalkeeper for a team defensively that hasn't been bad at all. In fact, it's been quite the opposite. They've been pretty decent. There's a lot of pressure on you, and he's done nothing but be quite professional from start to finish so far. Just 55 minutes in, job still to be done. I will say, though, that the momentum for Chattanooga at the close of the first half has definitely subsided. Chasing a bit more right now for the Maryland Bobcats, as with their substitutes, they haven't exactly found their shape. But a good job by keeping this attack at bay for Chattanooga FC.
Here's Robertson. Kyle Carr. Hernandez checked by Dawkins. Great play by number 5. Takes the ball away. That one gets through. Balogun with the long stride. Makes his move into the box. Balogun with the cross. And cleared out. Argueta. Over the head of Gray.
Well, how's your per diem, Trey? Because someone's got to buy dinner here. Watch this after Sean Russell gets beat. As this ball comes back across, great explosion of speed. And guess who once again? Little step right there. Right at the top of the 6-yard box, Nick Spielman. The guy's been so active on the back line, bailing his team out. Someone's buying dinner.
Center back stepping up with 2 huge plays here in the second half. Well, Balogun shows some potential. A big guy with the long strides. They're looking for something. And here's a free kick opportunity now for Robertson.
There's 2 different schools of thought here, Trey, on that play, and it's the first one is the fact that Balogun, great explosion of speed, right? It's a nice turn, drops that shoulder, spins the corner on Sean Russell, and then is able to get down to the byline. The problem is, I want him to release this ball a bit sooner, but to be honest, the positioning by Spielman was so good, I don't even think it matters.
Didn't negate
the center back, yeah, he was already there. He had already squared himself up, so if the ball comes to his shoulder, he's got it locked up.
Posyan, Balogun. Balogun, the cross deflected. And Robertson knocks it out. A corner kick coming for the Maryland Bobcats.
Good recovery here by Chattanooga. In similar situation, though, that on the previous play by Balogun, is that for Nick Spielman, he's already set. So if the ball comes to the near post, he's covered. Yet when it gets cut back, he just steps back into it. Same situation here. Watch Sean Russell. Great job on the recovery right at the top of the 6. Now he's got coverage over the left shoulder. Alec Reddington's got all the boys lined up, and as it comes back towards the penalty mark, he just steps right into it. Much easier to clear it for the defender.
Here's where Brian Argueta is very good. Corner kick opportunity. We approach 58 minutes gone. Far post. Collision. Balogun goes down. And it'll be possession for Chattanooga.
Do have to like the fact, though, if you're Sam Makpodu. More opportunities here. Start of the opening second half, 15 minutes in. It's a big one next weekend, huh, Trey? Michigan Stars, LA Force.
Christian Chaney really making his presence felt for the LA Force.
He's a big boy.
Stars coming off an emotional game. They've got some firepower.
Yeah, I think the time off as well will suit them well, sort of settle things down. Michigan Stars have talent. There's no doubt about that. For them, I've said multiple times that it's piecing all of that together, and I don't mean the ability to get the right players on the field. I mean that their performances, haven't exactly matched every area of the field. So you've had good goalkeeping and a great showing at the 9, or you've gotten great wing play. A couple midfielders have stepped up, but defense has lacked. They just haven't put together that full finished product. Easily one of the teams that could step up, though, and take this coveted spot, especially if it plays out to beat Detroit City and Chattanooga in those 1 and 2 spots.
Ocean trying to keep it in there. And it's been interesting seeing the LA Force post Chandler Hoffman and how they've come together. They've really done a nice job. Their team chemistry really rounding into form.
Christian Chaney is that prototypical striker. Old school English, if you will. Big body frame, great in the air, likes to play with his back to goal. Good ball striker from distance. Remember him a couple years back at Fresno FC. Prior to their departure from the USL Championship, got an opportunity to play alongside Jaime Chavez. Great little 1-2 striking partner.
There's a shot and wide of the mark. Opportunity there. Balogun.
We asked for more, and I said that with the absence of Kay Banjo, it's a great opportunity to step up, but what was it going to look like in terms of the overall shape? And he's been very active. It's a different look, taller, leaner, definitely quicker as well. Not necessarily helping out as much in distribution, dropping down into the pocket tray, but a good job showing a different option, right? He's that big physical presence up top. We've seen him in transition, and this time, as the space does open up, he tries his hand in another fashion and says, you know what, Reddington off his line a little bit, I'll have a go.
James Pele now. Nobody there. 4 blue jerseys back in the box. You know, the book on Kay Banjo this season is waiting for him to get to the next level. He's out with a hamstring, but if they can get somebody else to step up to go with Banjo, that could be an interesting combination, as Marcano's going to come in for Coleman here.
Just tired legs for Cutler. Coleman playing on this right flank in front of Alec McKinley. Starting him off in a wingback type role, a little bit more defensive-minded, but as the game progressed on, they switch into the 4, bring Kyle Carr to left back and Alec McKinley to the right back spot. Now Ryan Marcano steps in, and I loved the scouting report that I got from one of his old college coaches, and Mike Brizendine in Virginia Tech, and he said, that's my boy. Athlete, quickness, speed, strength, top tier in terms of the players that he's recruited into his program, and that's saying something for a quality ACC school like Briz and Virginia Tech. And he said, you know, he's country boy strong. He gets stuck down in there, loves to get into tackles, has such a great physical presence, and they're going to need it if they can start to counteract James Pele on the left-hand side.
Sounds what you'd hear about when somebody's talking about a Hokie athlete.
Right.
He's sounds like he's got all the tools. .62 minutes gone here. Chattanooga FC and the Maryland Bobcats. It's Maryland's inaugural season at NISA. Chattanooga FC already a spot in the semifinal of this spring season. Trying to put some wins together here, coming off a win against the Michigan Stars. Ocean. It's become a more physical game here in the second half.
Choppy as well. As mentioned, Chattanooga had really built themselves into that first half. They could deal with the injury of Brett Jones, as we've mentioned a few times. Going to change the formation, tweak the tactics, and took them some time to get in. And to be honest, and what I'd really like to see more, though, is get some more out of Tate Robertson. You know, he had done such a good job of building his way into that game. It's been much quieter here in the second half, and with that choppiness has caused the inability for some of their build-up play, to be honest. Saw some quality steps out of Ian McGrath and Juan Hernandez. That hasn't happened. And conversely, the American Bobcats trying to counteract what's been thrown at them. They've gone flat in the midfield, and they're lacking a presence out on this right-hand side. So build-up lacking for both of these teams leads to frustration, leads to fouls.
Hernandez fouled right near the touchline there. Carlos Pelago. There it is. The yellow comes out. It's on Posian. So the second yellow issued. Yaya has one in the first half. Robertson with the free kick opportunity. Hernandez deflected. With the great chip and the shot wide. It was running on McKinley with an opportunity.
And the best chances for Chattanooga have come from the likes of their defender, Alec McKinley. Had that great header in the first half. Couldn't redirect it enough. Same goes here. Look at all the space available. Just splits Borian Musi and Jake Dendler. Dendler thinks he's in an offside position, but it's a great run by McKinley on the back post. Should have put it on frame here. What a ball up over the top, by the way, by Cameron Woodfin. Just peels off that back shoulder. Got two options on the backside. Christian Calker doesn't agree. McKinley should have done better.
There's a shot wide of the mark. Maryland in the attacking third here. 65 minutes. Gone. The ball for Woodfin. Back to Carr. Woodfin trying to needle that one through to no avail. Here's Gray. And a foul on Hernandez. Pele, top of the box. Trying to split some defenders, knocked down. The back line's been pretty good. Spielman, of course.
He bounces here, by the way. Agree with the challenge or not, he comes real hard off this turf. He's reaching towards that shoulder because of this fall that he does take just at the top of the 18. Watch at the end. Good challenge, good stand up. Just following back through. He actually grabbed his head. Looked like he actually, upon initial review, Trey, that challenge came from the ground. That's not the case whatsoever. Actually just gets tangled up on the backside.
He's definitely outsized there with the likes of Carr and Spielman. Balogun chipping it for Posian. Nifty move. Dawkins steps on the ball. Here comes Chattanooga FC the other way. Too far out in front for Hofstadter. Somebody's able to get a goal here. You know, you always talk big picture, and Peter Fuller knows he has a spot in the semifinal, but a win for Maryland would be huge, considering they've only scored one goal. They played better. This could be something they could build off on. Argueta crashes into the wall over there is okay.
And given the fact that Maryland is winless through 3 games, you have reached the must-win territory. You know, this is game number 4. We're playing 8. Remember that. And you look at the table, Detroit City at 13 points. LA Force, Cal United, Stumptown, all playing 3 games, sitting on 6 points straight with 5 to go. I don't see anybody eclipsing the 20-point mark. I see that second and third spot sitting right around the 15, 16, 17-point mark. Now, a lot to play out between now and then, but that just means for Maryland, if they won every game they have, including this one, they could only hit 15 points. That gives you an idea that they are literally in must-win.
Gray trying to play it through for Balogun. Right now, 1904 FC, a 1-0 halftime lead in their game against the Michigan Stars. They're trying to move up in the standings. They have 3 points. They could move past the Michigan Stars with a win there.
People at home are probably wondering the reference on points, why I picked out those specific numbers, and here's why. I'm going to stick with LA Force, Cal United, and Stumptown only because they're not currently in a match. As you mentioned, 1904 virtually sitting on 6 points. But that right there, if they all win out, that gives them an extra 15. That gets them to 21, currently sitting on the 6. Tell you right now, seeing everybody and the way that they're all beating up on each other, nobody's winning out. So let's get that out of the way. Which means if you drop just 1 game, now you're down to 12. Now you're at 18 points. I actually think that these teams, you're looking at probably like a 3-1-1 type finish in the final 5. You can go 3-0-2, you know, drop 2 losses in there. So if you're able to garner 12 points, I think you 100% assure yourself a spot to be able to push through. The question is, where does Chattanooga fit into this mix? You know, because if they end up, if they can run the table, find a way to win here, and then they run the table and they do rattle off all the wins, they then gift it to you, because now you don't have to finish 1 or 2 because Detroit City and Chattanooga are there. You can finish number 3.
Argueta with the free kick opportunity, and Dengler wide with the header. Well, and it's to pick that team that will play opposite Chattanooga in the semifinal. Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, 3, 4, maybe 5 teams you could see sliding in there.
No, you're spot on. And the problem is I've talked about this. I like the transitional play from Michigan Stars. Haven't seen the full finished product out of them. Cal United, young, aggressive, but to a fault at times. You know, they struggle with some easy decisions.
James Pele shot deflected, and Reddington is there.
LA Force, they lose Chandler Hoffman. Christian Chaney comes in. Decent performance last time out. Actually thought they struggled a little bit with Maryland, but they still got a 2-0 victory, so now they're on the front foot. Stumptown, they do have a quality product, right? Only 1 loss to their name, so I actually lean towards them a little bit, but then you have a team like 1904 who got into that semifinal match in the Legends Cup against Detroit City before Detroit City took them down and played Chattanooga in the final. And 1904 winning right now, so they then jump into the 6th spot. So you're spot on. 4 or 5 teams that could easily make their way into that semifinal match come the end of June.
Now, 1904 FC and the Michigan Stars do have one thing in common. They're the only teams to score against Detroit City thus far in the NISA Legends Cup or in the spring season. And a foul here and a free kick opportunity. Dawkins involved, and that sets up Woodfin or maybe Carr on a free kick. That's going to be Robertson. He's their specialist.
Yeah, how much Christian Calker is willing to cheat on this near post or not, because only going with a couple guys in the wall, he's got to be real careful with the space, and Robertson can whip this around. He can put great English on this ball, and instead of going for service, the way that the wall is actually cheating to their right, our left, that provides you more of an opportunity to go direct here if you don't want to serve it into the box.
Robertson into the box. Argueta heads it up. Robertson, far post, shot, McKinley high with that one.
A couple of boys tonight are going to look back on their performances and wonder in certain areas if they could have done better. Don't mind that from Tate Robertson trying to pick out the near post except from a deflection. And as this ball comes back across, sexy from Robertson. Outside of the right foot, ball whipped all the way to the backside. Calker, what are you doing? I got to say it. You got to come with power and precision. Punch this ball away. And then the one who has had all the opportunities for Chattanooga FC, Alec McKinley. He's tired, heavy legs. Your brain starts to wander in terms of decision making. You got to lean over this though. Put your laces on it. Take a little power off and just stick it on frame.
Good play from Carr there, intercepting that pass. Plays it in front for Hofstadter as Calker comes out of there. And it'll be a throw-in for Chattanooga FC. It looks like a foul before he went after the ball. .75 minutes in. Here is Gray in the box against Robertson. Crosses it. Russell was there. Corner kick coming. Taylor Gray just added to this Maryland team. Will give way to Cow, it looks like, and now Nico Brown's going to come in, and also Eduardo Jimenez. Jimenez laid onto the field. Here's the Cow corner. Brown fires it and deflected by Reddington. Brown fresh off the pine, and Reddington with a big time play.
The Loyola product who won the Golden Boot in high school. This is the reason why. Marksman from distance by Nico Brown. This is what I was talking about by McKinley, Trey. Head down, take a little bit off of it. All you got to do is focus on form from distance. Great follow through and a fantastic save by Alec Reddington.
Corner now. Punched out of there by Reddington. Argueta. Carr with the foul.
You got to be real careful if you're Chattanooga right here, because with the substitutes of Maryland Bobcats, they finally found themselves a sparring partner. They are punching back right now, Trey, and above their weight class as well. It's only been a couple of minutes. It's certainly only been a few moments, but it's movements like this that provide the belief for a squad on the road that they can go steal away 3 points. Be real careful here on your marks.
Argueta with that magic left foot. Curls it in there. Reddington up high to get it. Past minute number 78 here, still nothing on the board, but it appears momentum a little bit on Maryland's side. If you believe in momentum in soccer.
Oh, it's real. Trust me, it's real. You know, you're on the negative side of things. shots just one after another following suit, ringing out left and right on your back line, and your goalkeeper can't get anything going on the other side of the ball. Ball starts bouncing the wrong way for you. Your head starts to drop. The belief that you could get through just the match, but the next 5 minutes starts to dissipate. Maryland Bobcats on the other side of that. They feel like they've got a real chance right now as Chattanooga FC just struggle a little bit in terms of build-up, more pressure. Started to move some of the pieces around. Eduardo Jimenez, Panamanian national futsal team. Really good technical player, part of the CONCACAF championships, and bringing a guy like that in after you just had someone who could stretch the field of play. Now you're looking for more build-up. Challenge the back line, keeps you on your toes if you're Nick Spielman and co.
Maryland trying to taste victory for the first time. They had a tie at the NISA Legends Cup with the Michigan Stars. All losses in the spring season. Outside the box now. Top of the box. It's Hofstetter high with that one.
It's really the first time that we've got an opportunity to see Hofstetter squared up at goal with the chance to put one on. That definitely took a deflection. This has to be a corner.
There we go. It will be. Robertson to do the honors again. Through the box. Woodfin in the air. Dingler.
Louisiana Hot Sauce is proud to sponsor Chattanooga football club. Whether you're cooking in the kitchen, the backyard, or the CFC tailgate, Louisiana Hot Sauce is the official hot sauce for Chattanooga football club.
Chattanooga FC without Brett Jones. He started injured, left in the first half. Without Brian Bement and Marcus Nagelstad, out with red cards. And without James Kasak. Trying to find a way to get it done on home turf. Kyle Carr. Spielman, who's been fantastic on the back line. It's taken away. It's Pele, James Pele. And didn't get much on that right at Reddington.
Tired boy right there. Now with McKinley. He's cramping a little bit down the stretch, and can't blame him. Moving him from the center back spot to that outside right back position. Just looking for some mineral salts to get you going here. West Palm Beach, Florida native. Actually, Portland youth product out of the University of Mobile. Had himself a quality shift tonight. Just reaching to that back right leg a little bit on the hamstring. Tiny cause for concern as training staff comes on, but you got to imagine. Get some salt tablets in him, nice glass of water, find a way to push through in this final 10 minutes if he can.
We have not seen Richard Dixon, though he was available. Their veteran leader, it's been Carr, Spielman, McKinley. Been pretty effective. Throw in for Woodfin. Robertson can't keep it in. I think approaching 84 minutes gone in this one. Chattanooga FC and the Maryland Bobcats scoreless. Chattanooga already has an automatic berth in the regular season semifinal. Here's a shot, and Reddington with the save as Taylor Gray puts one on him. You like what you've seen from Taylor Gray and Balogun on the Maryland side?
I was very impressed with what Balogun was able to do. Taylor Gray is, you can't necessarily blame him, Trey, in terms of his performance, because it's a very different look tactically for the Maryland Bobcats than what we saw in the first half. A very traditional 4-2-3-1 in the first half with Sammy Kasai playing in the 10. You know, they had a presence on both sides of the outside of the midfield, and Balogun was able to benefit from that. For Taylor Gray, it's very different because they've gone to a flat 3, then 2 in front, and they're asking a lot out of their right side midfielder. They're not getting it though, because with Nico Brown coming on, who comes on for Pausian, the shape changes again, which turns to Javon Dawkins, and so they're chasing a lot in a lot of those areas, and Taylor Gray is trying to follow suit on the interior. He's sitting in the 10 spot, so we haven't seen a lot of play into him. You know, they've had to go a little bit long, like you just saw there. They've played up top into the likes of Eduardo Jimenez, Balogun as well. But with all the changes that are being made, they've tweaked their style of play, and he just hasn't benefited from it. It's not necessarily the individual performance.
$3,231 in attendance for this one. Here's Nico Brown playing that back to Cocker. McKinley's day is done as Topper Marshall has come in for Chattanooga FC. Here's McGrath now. Dawkins challenging him. Good defense there. Hernandez in traffic with the shot right at Cocker. Cocker getting the start here in the second half. Joel Isiak started the first half. Pele now with the shot. Reddington in front of it. And that had good velocity towards the keeper. Would we be in a different spot right now if Kay Banjo got the start for Maryland? I guess you could argue, well, what if Chattanooga had Bement and Nagelstad on the other side?
And James Kasak and Diabico. Yeah, that's a very different.
There's an argument both ways. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many pieces, right?
Davey Mason not on the pitch for the Bobcats. .88 minutes gone here. Final moments here in this matchup at Finley Stadium. You got to love the fan support, though. The crowd's been good in Chattanooga, and they were great throughout the NISA Legends Cup. We're hoping for more to cheer about. Converge on the midfield. Chattanooga wins it, loses it. Pato, Lawe. Guys in blue now on the attack with Hernandez. Robertson. Top for Marshall. Cross. Cocker goes high to get it.
What hasn't been without flair down the stretch from Christian Cocker, has it, Trey? A lot of questions being asked of the goalkeeper, and to be fair, his answers given not very stereotypical. He's come off his line a lot. I've been critical of him, rightfully so, but this time, approaching the 90th minute in traffic, about 7 yards off his line, an area that a referee's not going to protect you. Cocker finally gets it right.
And added 4 minutes here.
Indicated 4 minutes of added time to the end of the game. Need more time Contact HHF.
Can Maryland find lightning in a bottle and get their first win? Here's Gray. Gray backing down towards that end line. Carr stayed right with him. Peter Fuller mentioned to us if they could get 6 points in their next 2 matches, this ends up in a draw. Still an opportunity to get some points with their schedule coming up. They get New Amsterdam next, and some tough battles with the LA Force and 1904 FC to follow. Here's Marshall. Knocked down. They play on. Some disagreement from the fans here. Russell knocking that one out of play.
A good appreciation between two competitors as these guys have been very active tonight. Sean Russell made a couple of mistakes but recovered well. His compatriot Nick Spielman ever present on the back line. Lot to handle. Watch out.
Gray with a fancy move into the box. Hernandez there. Deflected out and a goal kick.
Well, there's an argument here from Taylor Gray that it should be a penalty because he gets tugged, but it's going to take something special for a referee to point to the spot in general, yet along the way that the subjective nature can come into the decision-making skills of our center ref down the stretch. You move inside. Is there a knock? Is there a tug? Absolutely. But as I've said before, Rubbin's racing. Got to find a way to persevere through.
Final stages of this one. Dingler. Here's Argueta. Maybe one last final push from Maryland. Woodfin. It's Marshall, double teamed. Jimenez. And we have a final from Finley Stadium. Scoreless, Chattanooga and the Maryland Bobcats, an improved Maryland team. Peter Fuller's club coming up short. Injuries, red cards. They didn't have the personnel they normally have, and a draw between these two.
Good positive talk here, Trey. That Maryland Bobcats getting better every time out. They get their first official point against a tough squad in Chattanooga FC. But as you can tell, their idea is just struggling to make its way to the pitch. Still, well-earned point by both of these teams.
So it ends in a draw. Chattanooga and Maryland. We'll be back to wrap this one up from Chattanooga, Tennessee.